Okay. Okay, do let me know if you guys can see my screen, okay? Yesterday I was talking about whiteboard. Yesterday I was talking about the APIs and what the important of that API. That's also a bigger part, because at the end I told you, like, whatever AI services you are going to build, that services you have to expose as a API. API is basically application programmable interface, right? So we have explained these things in a very good way. This, yeah, okay. So I was talking about how we are going to expose, like, okay, you are going to create an API, it's your application, and then you want to access a third party application. So in order to make a communication between these two applications, we need an API. Similar kind of, just try to correlate these things. You created your one ML service which will just predict the what we call like a marketing analysis. Let's suppose one stock I want to buy, and what will be the stock price after 2 months. That is going to predict by your ML service. So this third party application want to access your service. You want to sell your service basically. So this third party will send a request, and you will give the response, right? So in order to do these things, we have to expose our service in form of the API. So in order to do these things, we have discussed many kind of framework is available. In case of Python, similar same thing is applicable for the Java, C++, or whatever language you are using. In case of Python, we have seen the Flask, we have seen the Django, we have seen the Fast API. But right now we are discussing about the Flask. Okay. So till now it was very much clear, right? Now let's discuss about how to create an API. So yesterday I was discussing about this part. We can create, we have discussed about what is CORS, we have discussed about what is, this routing mechanism. Yeah, yeah, please. Yes, 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 I'm recording. Don't worry. Okay, cool. But thank you to reminding. So we also seen that how to create a route mechanism, what is the cross origin, and we just did a hello world. Let me run quickly this application. And if you are going to run this application, it will run on 5500 port. Just copy this, open in Chrome, or yeah, let me Chrome this. And if I will open it, where is yours? So you guys can see this hello world program came into the picture. Like, okay, this hello world is coming, right? So fine, we are good till now. Now let's discuss about another thing which for which we are here. Uh, how to create your, like, again, API is just a calling a function, right? API is nothing but just a calling of function, right? So let's do this part again. Come to the coding part and stop this service. And now let's do this thing. Okay, so now coming to the part of few thing we should know. In case of API, how to call, okay, how to call this API through the browser. We have seen similar kind of thing is there. We have to call the API through the client, right? Client is what? Client is basically those users who is going to exhaust your service, right? That is the client. So how you can create your client, right? So there is a way to create a client. Either you can give your application to the third party, or there is a one application which is called Postman. How many of you install this Postman? If not, then please do install in your system. Okay, how to install? It's very simple. So just go to the Google. Just did that. My system is getting bit hanged. So just go to the Google and search for Postman download. Okay, Postman download. You will get a first link. Hit on it, and Windows 64 option, you will get it out. In my case it is Windows, so I'm using this thing, but in your case it can be deferred. So you guys can use this link and search and download it, and then next and install. Please do it quickly. Okay, meanwhile, I am showing at my platform. Once you will open the Postman, you will get this kind of interface. Okay, this kind of interface. This is my Postman. So here, how to call your request, right? So let's suppose I want to create a request, right? And this request by default, it's a get request. If you can go to this request is by default is the get request. Okay, why I'm saying it's a get request? Okay, let me talk about a different type of request. Then we can come on this point. I think that will be the good way to doing. So see, in order to perform the again, with the API, what you are doing? You are doing performing the CRUD operation. How many of you know what is the CRUD? CRUD is basically create, read, update, and delete. So CRUD, we all are doing with the API. What we are doing? We are doing the CRUD operation. CRUD operation means at the end with the API, what we are trying to do? We are trying to create some entry in the database. We are trying to update something in the DB. We are trying to delete something in the DB. We are trying to read something from the DB, right? So same thing we have discussed in this whiteboard as well. See, I was discussing about this IRCTC application, right? In the IRCTC application, PhonePe, Paytm, railway station people, all was trying to access what? All were trying to book a ticket, railway ticket. And at the same time, we are getting, like, let's suppose PhonePe user want to book a ticket, and they are seeing, okay, 10 seats is available. At the same time, if Paytm user want to check how many seats are available, they also should see the same number of tickets is should be available. Similarly, for the railway station, it is, but it should not like that PhonePe user is getting 10 seats available, Paytm user is getting 20 seats available, and railway station guys is saying 30 seats is available. That should not be the case. So all the information should get passed from the centralized, what we call centralized database, right? So whenever we are hitting the API, whenever we are reserving some seats from this IRCTC application, what it does, it goes in their database and trying to fill that one seat, whatever. Let's suppose 10 seat was available before booking the PhonePe customer, right? So it booked that seat and it make it filled. Then how many seats is available? 99 seats is available, right? So now if any user, so here what we did, here we did the CRUD operation. CRUD operation, what CRUD operation we did? Update operation. Means the earlier 9 seat was available, now it become a 10, earlier 10 seat was available, now it become a 9 seat. So we just update the field, right? So now if any user from these three platform, either it's a PhonePe, Paytm, or railway station, want to access how many seats are available, then they should also get to know, okay, there is a 9 seats available. Does make sense? So there, if at every time with the help of API, what we are doing? We are doing the CRUD operation: create, update, read, delete. This kind of operation only we are performing. Now coming to the part here. So what kind of function we should call whenever we are doing? See, there is a 4 kind of operation is there. Create operation is there. Update operation is there. Read, delete operation is there. So in order to perform any kind of function, there is some specific function or API has to be called. Let's suppose we have to read something from the database. Then in that case, when we have to create a get API. So it's a very, means like it's a always good practice to use the proper function, proper API gateway whenever you want to perform some particular action. Does it make sense, guys? Let me charge my laptop. Cool. So whenever, the thing is very clear here. So what I was trying to say, whenever you have to fetch something from the DB, that then we have to call the get API. Post is basically what? Post is basically whenever you have to create new entry in the DB, then we should call post API. Now try to understand, try to correlate again with this diagram. So let's suppose you created a you book a ticket, right? So your entry should get created inside a book ticket wala table. Like, okay, this person has been booked. So new entry we are going to create in the table. So that moment we are going to create a post API. Does make sense, guys? Yes. Now coming to the part delete API. Let's suppose delete. What the delete function does? Delete function is very simple. If we have to delete some entry from the database, then we have to call delete API. Okay, and it is not recommended. Okay, so it is not recommended. We should not call this delete API. Now coming to the part of put API. Okay, what do you mean by the put API? Put API is basically if we have already entry, if we have already entry entry, and we just need to update the data, then we have to call put API. Does make sense? Means let's suppose in our database right now currently we were having the 10 seat was available earlier before booking the phone pay customer. Now phone pay customer has been booked the ticket from the IRCTC application. Now how many seats left? 9 seats are left. So now Paytm user, so we have to update this 10 to 9, right? So in that case, we have to call the put API. Does make sense, guys? Any doubt in this? What other function has to be called? Cool. Very good. Very good. So you guys are okay. Now just try to understand here. Now you must say, so Rajesh, in this case, though, you didn't define what kind of method we are calling here. Did we define here anywhere? Where is the get call? Where is it a get call, or is it a post call, or is it a put call, or is it a delete call? No, I have not defined yet. So what we can do, it's if you're not defining, then it will be by default, it will be considered as a get function. So let's suppose I'm defining here method name metho method, and here I'm going to pass as a list, and here I'm going to pass as a get. This is a get API. And now just try to understand. Let me call this API, and this server got started. Now what I can do quickly, I will go to this part, and this guy, I will restart this, and still I'm getting the response. Okay, let me do these things with the help of Postman. Have you guys downloaded that Postman? Okay. Okay, cool. No worries, no worries. Do it. You will get anyways recording. So what I will do, I will just copy this URL. I'll just copy this URL and I will hit here. Okay, I'll hit here and I'll send a request. And see, this is the get call. There is a lot of functions are there. Can you see this? So I was talking about get, push, delete. Patch is also kind of put only. So you and forget about these many functions. Okay, these are the functions we have, but in the organization, lot of time we are going to use these many 4 to 5 functions only. And you can see here the also you are able to access the same result. Can you see this? But only problem, if you are going to access the API through the browser, you can only access the get API. You can't access the post API through the browser. If you want to access the post API from the browser, if you want to access the post API, then you have to come to this platform, which is called Postman. Make sense, guys? Cool. Cool. Now coming to create, let's discuss about the another thing, post API. Okay, let's suppose I want to create a function which is called a add function. Okay, can anyone tell me how to add two number? Let's suppose I want to create an add function. Okay, and in the add function, what I want to do, I will take a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3, and yeah, and then what I have to do, I have to just print a plus b, uh, a plus b, right? So I will do a plus b, and will I get a result? Yes, I will get a definite. Okay, now I'm going to remove this code. I'm going to comment this. I'm just calling my add function here. Will I able to Okay. Will I able to access? What will be the result? Stop and rerun. See, I'm getting 5, but in the actual way, is it a place? No, you are taking the input from the user, right? So in order to take a input from the user, what was the function? Input function, right? But in this case, you are taking the input from client side, right? So you can not, input function is only applicable for the Python console. Means, let's suppose I'm talking about this part, right? Let's suppose I'm going to take the input from the user input, and here I'm going to pass enter a number, and user will pass the number, and it is has to be converted into integer because input function is returning string type of data, and I am doing that part. Now I will remove this code because this got converted into that I am taking from the user side. Similarly, can I do from the user that b number, and I am going to write here another number, and here I'm going to store in the b. That's okay. Now if I'll do the addition, subtraction, and b also has to be removed from here. Now see, I'm taking the input from the user. Now if I'll execute again this code, will I able to get that? And it is asking the number. I'm going to pass 5, I'm going to pass 8, 8 plus 5 13, and I'm getting the result. Okay, this is fine. This is only applicable, this input function is only applicable to do this for action from the Python console. Means if we have to take the input from the Python console, then this input function is applicable, no doubt at all. But in whenever you are going to create an API, you have to take a input, because see, just try to understand in that way. You created the API, you created one calculator, and is it like that calculator is going to use by the programmer only? No, calculator is going to use by all the illiterate and non-illiterate person, right? So we have and whoever are non-programming background, they also can pass the input from the calculator. Yes, no, yes. So they also able to pass the input from the calculator. Means we have to make a system in such a way so that client can pass the input, right? So what I can do here, what I can do, instead of taking input from the input side, because input function is what? Input function is taking the input from the Python console, and everyone don't have the Python console access. So what I will do, I will write here a is equal to, here we have to call one library which is called request and dot JSON, because I told you, right? So whenever you have to ask something with me, you have to ask in the English or Hindi language, then only I can understand, right? So similar kind of thing is here as well. So you have to add two number, so you have to take the input as a JSON format, because JSON is the some language which is getting accessible or which is getting understandable either of the language, like either it is a Python, Java, Ruby, Perl, C++, whatever language it is, India, world ka any language, any programming language it is, all the language understand only two language, which is called JSON or XML language. So whenever we have to take the input from the user, then we have to take the request in form of the JSON. That understood? That's what we are taking the input request. So request se aayega input request, and here I am going to take the input as a. Here the user will pass request.json, and JSON say a will get come here, and I will store here a here. Similar kind of thing can I do for the B? Yes, why not? Who, for whom you are waiting for it? So you can take the request dot JSON, and here I am going to pass JSON, and here I am going to take JSON, and here I'm going to take the B. That is okay. Now we got the A and B. Now we are able to resolve. Okay. Did I created the route mechanism? Did I define anywhere where what is this? Is it a post call or it's a get call? No. So I have to apply the cross origin. And what is the use of cross origin? Can anyone here? What is the use of cross origin? Cross and origin decorator what does here? This is completely unfavorable response I am expecting. Yesterday only we were talking about this cross origin. Is it something I am expecting with you guys? What you guys are doing here? Like cross origin things, I was discussing a like 15 minutes to 20 minutes on it. And you are not able to give the statement in a single line what the cross origin does. So cross origin basically across the world, if I have to access my application, that should be accessible, right? And we have seen if I am going to remove the cross origin, I showed you that error as well. Let's suppose I am going to remove this cross origin. I'm going to remove this cross origin and I'm going to remove the cross origin from here as well. Course I'm going to remove from here. Now if I'll access this API, let's suppose I'm going to run my Postman a Flask server. I'm going to run my Flask server. I'm going to run my Flask server. Just try to understand what it does. See, if this is the case, then don't join the class. Don't waste your time and as well my time. That's always I am asking. I need in I used to provide the input whatever you want, and I am expecting at least 50% output with you. It's a very simple agenda. If you are not able to cover up 50%, then don't join the class in the next day. Just remind me, Rajesh, I'm not ready for today's class. It will be okay. Morning wake up, it's a very typical. You just try to understand. Every day night I used to sleep after 2 p.m 2 a.m and I'm waking up at the morning early in the morning, and you guys are doing this much of these are the completely nonsense kind of. You are not a kid that I can every day will tell like this. So if I'll hit this API, if I'll run this application, my server got started. Now if I'll copy this, if I'll refresh this page, what the error will come? Just see. Oh, still it's what happened? Course I have been defined. Okay, so what happened? Just try to understand. This course I have been removed, but it got learned by this server. Means okay, if you will hit this API from your server, means from your browser, it won't allow. Yesterday it was not allowing. Now it allowed. Why? Because it understood the hits are coming on the same server, right? So that's what it is allowing. But at the same very first time, if you will hit this API, it won't allow. Yesterday we have seen the course is going to help you to define your API so that it can be accessible from the anywhere, cross origin. That's what you guys are saying. Always okay, but you are not doing any kind of thing here. No homework, nothing. I have not received with this batch any kind of assignment yet. Single of assignment I have not received yet. Okay, so here also I'm going to make a route mechanism. So what I can do, app dot route, and here I'm going to define what will be the function. So this function is what this. Okay, this error is coming. No worries. Let me delete, stop this service. Let me do this because that server was running at the runtime. And here I'm going to define the endpoint called add endpoint. And what will be this function? This function will be the post function. So whenever you are taking the input from the user, always good that you have to create a post function. Okay, so here I'm going to create a method called equal to post. This is a post function. Now should I define the cross origin? Yes, we should define the cross origin. And here also we should define origin is equal to asterisk. Okay, origins equal to asterisk. Okay, that is okay. Now we done. Now what I can do, I will hit this API now once again. Now I'm not calling the add function explicitly. Okay, I'm not calling the add function explicitly. What it will do, now I will go. Now you can't hit. Okay, now if I'll hit this, now if I will hit this API from here, I'm not able to access my add. Okay, so let's suppose I have to access my add. So what I have to do, I have to call the add endpoint. See, This is my root endpoint, localhost 5005. Now on top of that, I have to call this add endpoint, right? Same thing I was talking about the make my trip. Let's suppose you have to book one flight on a make my trip. So make my trip, this is the make my trip application. So this is the home page of make my trip. Let's suppose I have to book a ticket from the Bangalore to Delhi, and I will call this. Now endpoint got changed. Can you see this? This got appended with the base URL. Similar kind of thing here as well. If I have to access the ad, then I have to call, but it's saying method not allowed. Why this? Because this method, this add method is expecting two things. This add method is expecting two things, A and B, but we are not passing from there, and we are not able to pass from there. So what I can do, I will go and I will do one thing. I will do here, add here, and here I will convert into post function, and here go to the raw, and inside of raw you just do the JSON, and here create a JSON. JSON means dictionary. And here what I can do, A is the variable, A is the variable colon, and here I will pass 2 comma whatever. Okay, it will take only double quote, and comma B equal to B colon 5. And now if I'll hit this API, see this is a post function, so I convert into post, and this is the endpoint in routing. So routing, where you can see routing, you guys can see here what is the route here, and what the variable name you have to give, whatever thing you are giving here. Can you see this here? That variable name only you have to give here. And now if I'll hit this, I will get, okay, I'm getting the, no worries. This is the my mistake. Because what is the problem here? See, you did the addition, no doubt. You did the addition. But again, you have to pass the information in form of the JSON only. Because this will print here in the console, Python console. If you'll go to the Python console, you can see that result. But in order to see by the user, what you have to do, you have to return in form of the JSONify, and here you have to pass A plus B. That's all. Now this result is okay. Now if I'll hit this, now let me do one thing. Let me now if I'll hit this, now if I will hit this, can I see result? Guys, are you able to see? Now you no need to do anything. You just change, this is the calculator, you just change here, and this will get impacted there. See, can you see this? I'm getting real-time update here. Getting this point? See, I'm getting the result for the float value as well. Okay. So any doubt in till now? Any doubt? Any misunderstanding? Any something? See, guys, it's a very frankly I'm saying, it's a my ask. It's not about that I'm requesting you. If you guys are not able to cover the previous class, then do let me know. I can give you enough time to do the practice, so that you guys can come up with this thing. See, I asked a very simple thing yesterday. I spent a lot of time with you to make you understand about the API gateway, cross origin, what it does, what are the different framework. But still, the thing is what? It's the same way where you were. Then what the use of that? Is it getting something like, okay, we asked something which we never taught yet, right? So that's the thing, is always is something is showing your how much dedicated towards your work. Okay, so always try to understand that way. Okay, anyways, now let's discuss about the debugging. See, right now your API is just a 3 line of code, but in production, when you will write an API, if you can see, I can show you one production code. So here is the one services was there. There is a model service. Yeah. If you can go to the one, any kind of service, you can see how many line of APIs it is. See, so you can't understand this kind of application. You have to build. So if you are want to able to build this kind of application, what you have to do, you should know the how to debug the code as well. So in order to debug the code, just run your application in the debugging mode. So how to run the in debugging mode? Press a debugger. This is called breakpoint. Press the breakpoint and now run the server. Either you can run mode or debug mode from here, or you can run from the here as well. I run in the debug mode. So I ran the debug mode. Now what will happen? Just go to the postman, and if I'll hit this, so you can see my application got stuck at this point, line number 24. It become blue. Can you see this? Yes, no? So if I'll do step over, now request came, and you can see what request came from the client side. Client pass a value as a 6.7. We store in the his. Similarly, if I'll press step over, then you can see client pass 6 from the client side. And now if I'll get the result, if I want to see the result, just do this, copy paste this, and open an evaluator. This is called evaluator, and evaluate this result. And you can see the response is 200. Okay, means 200. So one more thing, guys, I will talk about these things. So you can see the response is 200, means that request is fine. Response is fine. Now if I'll hit this button, and now I will get a response as well, 12.7. And I was talking about the status code. You can see here status. Can you see this 200? Whenever you are getting any API response 200 series, it seems like your API is responding correctly. Okay. Whenever you are getting the response code around 400 series, means like your request body is not correct. What I am talking about, just try to understand, huh? Just try to understand. If I will pass here C, let's suppose if I'm passing C, and now if I'll hit this, and it got stuck at this point, right? Because I applied the breakpoint, remove that breakpoint, and now run this. Can you see this? I am getting 500 internal server error. What is mean by the internal server error? Means like your API expecting B value, but you are passing C. That's what it is throwing an error, and that's what it is called internal server error. Okay, that is the fine thing. But let's suppose your API expecting what I can say. If I'll run this, still you are getting 500 internal server error because your API expecting two things and you are passing only one thing. Can you see this? These are the internal server error. Okay, what I can do. If I'll hit this. Okay, cool. Any doubt, guys, so far? No. Okay. I am going to give one question for a day. Don't come without completing this question. So what I will do, so create an API to replicate the calculator. Okay, so this is the task. Means what are the function in the calculator? Can anyone tell me? Means we can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Yeah, all the function, logarithmic, sine function, whatever. I will write my requirement here. Wait a minute. So your calculator should be enough capable to add any kind of number. Means not about only two number. Let's suppose in calculator, if I'll open the calculator, I can show you. Just a minute. So see, just try to understand this calculator part. So you can see if I'm passing 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, means any number of input. Let's suppose user is passing 5 number, that is your calculator should be enough capable to add the 5 number. If user is passing 3 number, your calculator should be capable to add 3 numbers as well. Similar kind of thing for multiplication, division, subtraction as well. Okay, and if you want to do this, means like squaring or square root or percentage, these are the functionality also you want to introduce. That is on your choice. Okay, so now how to do these things? Now question is how to do. So the thing is that input though you have to take from the user, and you can pass one more parameter, function. Okay, function means here the user will pass the function called addition. To addition ke liye addition, or subtraction for subtraction, sub For multiplication, we can pass the multiplication, we can pass the division, or whatever function. So you can take the input from the user like this, input, and then what function you want to call, either add function, multiplication function, subtraction function, division function, and it will give the result. This makes sense? Any doubt? Will you able to do that? How to do? Can anyone explain that? So you also correct. Correct. So, and one more thing, you no need to create a separate API for each application. You have to create only single API, and single API should able to access all the function. Okay. So how to access? You have to pass one parameter, means like what I'm trying to say. Here you can ask with the user function. You can take a function and okay, right. And here you can pass the function name called add. Let's suppose user is passing add function, so your add logic will get called here. Similarly, if user is passing subtraction, only single API will do, and the API endpoint should be calculator. Okay. Okay, cool. Now coming to the part of logging. So yeah, so if you guys able to do this much, I think this is more than enough. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the logging. What is the need of logging? Okay, let's discuss about that part as well. Okay. I was talking about the logging. So let's suppose you created one calculator application. Just try to understand it that way. Let's suppose you guys have been created this calculator application. Now coming to the part of calculator application. So in calculator application, you are going to write 1,000 line of code. But at every stage, what the action, what is getting done, that no one knows. Yes, no? Right. So we should have the logging facility. Logging means everything should get logged, right? So for that reason, we are going to learn the logging. So how to implement the logging functionality here? So how to how to introduce the logging functionality here? So in order to introduce the logging functionality, we have a inbuilt library which is called logging, which is called what? Logging. Just import logging. Python having their own logging. Like Java, I don't have. I think log4j is there. That's again third party library. For Python, its own logging functionality is there. Log4j also we can configure with the Python. That is okay. So what I'm trying to do, import logging, and yeah, this is okay. Okay. Now I'm going to create a logging configuration here. So logging, not logging, logging. And here dot base configuration, I'm going to write base configuration, basic configuration, sorry. Is it my spelling mistake? Basic configuration. And here I'm going to create a file name. Here I'm going to create a file name, which file we want to keep my, what I call, keep my logs. Okay. So see logs, if you must say, okay, can we do with the print statement? It is okay, you can do with the print statement, but what will happen? Let's suppose your server got restarted. Then in that case, your console output will be gone, right? So you should have a logging facility in such a way so that can be accessible till your lifetime. So let's suppose I want to see what happened today. I'll tell you the real scenario. Let's suppose tonight, yesterday night, something got broken in my production server. And tomorrow means like today morning when I reach in the office, I'm getting one Jira ticket on my name. Rajesh, you developed this feature and we got this issue. Now I have to track what happened yesterday, right? So we should, so I'll go my logging file. I'll check across the request, what request came at that moment of time, and I'll check what response we pass. Then we can able to track the result. Okay, we can able to debug the problem by seeing the log. Actually, this is the good practice of programmer. If you are going to be a senior guy, like after the time, after 3 years, 5 years of maturing guy you are getting, no one is going to touch your code, to be honest. If you are going to be a senior guy, like after 4 years or 5 years, you are not going to touch anyone's code. Even you are not going to touch directly code. You are directly jumping into a log, and by seeing the log, you should tell the reason behind of it. That capability, if you can build with your logging functionality, means you are a well developer, that I could say. By seeing the code, anyone can tell what the problem it is here. Okay, right now chat GPT also can say. Okay, so what the use of yours? Hello, anyone is saying something? Cool. Cool. So logging functionality is very, very important here. Okay. Any kind of application, either it's a Java application, Python application, Ruby, Perl, C, C++, C Sharp, any kind of application. Logging functionality always should be there. So here I'm going to give my logging file name. So I'm going to create a logging file os.path.join, and I am going to create a logging file here, logs logs folder. Okay, I have to import the logs now. I have to import OS, not logs. Import OS. That's okay. Now that's fine. Logs. And here I'm going to write my logging file. Logging file name will be app.log. App.log. Okay. So cool. I have created this logging file, and also I am going to introduce a label. Label will be what? Label will be, if you are going to run this logging in the production, then the label will be lev. It's a very, you no need to remember this part. Okay, this will just need to copy paste whenever you are doing something in the production. You just need to copy paste my code, that's all. So here is the logging label is .info. .info. Why info? Because in production we are not doing debugging anyway. Whenever you are in the development phase, like in local system or development environment, then your logging.info should get logging.debug. Okay. So, and also format. Format is very important. So in which format you want to store your log. So here log format should be in that way. So here what I am trying to say, percentage ASCII time, ASCII time. So every time means like it will store the time, all everything. I will talk about these things. So no need to worry. Just let me write down first. Percentage label info, LEVL label info, label name, and here just type this thing, label names, comma, percentage module, and here I'm going to write this modules, and that is okay. That is okay. Now colon, and here I'm going to write percentage message. Message is, that is okay. Now it's done. Now format, what format I have to do these things? Append format. So for file mode, I have to open the file mode in the append mode, because in the same file I have to open. Now just try to understand. Here I'm going to do one thing. I am going to logging addition function called logging.info. I'm just writing the logging.info addition function got called. Okay. Similarly, logging. Okay. No, we have to 1 minute. One more thing I forget to write here. So here we have to write logger is equal to logging dot get logger, and here I have to pass the underscore name. Underscore. Okay. So now I have to write here logger dot info. Similarly here as well, logger dot info, and here I am passing first number equal to, and I am going to write here, let me write in the F mode, A. That's all. Similarly, I am going to write logger dot info second number. So everything I can log. Let's see you on the second number. My spelling is mistake, right? And here also I'm going to write B. And this also has to return at F mode. And here after end of these things, what I can do, I will write one more logger dot info, the result of addition result. And I will write in the F mode, the addition addition result is A plus B. I just try to understand what I did. Nothing. I will restart my server once again. I will restart my server, stop and rerun. What happened? No such file. Okay. It's saying logs folder is not there. No worries. I will create a log folder, new directory, and here I will create a logs folder. It's okay. Now let me run this once again. What happened? Messages. Why this error is coming? Yes, seat time. Yeah, yes, seat time. Okay. My bad. It should be T, small t. Now if I'll run this, yeah, it is working. It is working. Debugger is on. That's what. Now if I'll hit this, now it got run and it got the output. Now if you can go to the, you can see here is the app.log got created, and you can you see this time as well is there, and you can get the, okay, restarting the server, debugging, and addition function got called. See, first number. So you can track at this time user has been passed what the input was, what the input second number, what was the result we passed. If someone is saying, okay, yesterday what happened, your function we passed 3 and 2 and your function was giving the result 6, but actually it should give the 5. Then you can go to your log and you can check and you can say, no, we have passed only 5 only. You this is your misunderstanding. You saw 6, we passed 5, and you can give the proof as well. So, and this logging will not be like, let's suppose I stop the server and I close these things, it will be accessible till your lifetime. Let's suppose again if I'll run this, again if I'm going to run this application, this time I will pass something different. Okay. Okay, I'm taking 3 input. Let me remove this part because I was showing these things earlier. And if I'll pass 2, if I'll pass 0, let's suppose, and you can see run 6.7 only I got the result. And see, can you see this? Second result was 0, first result was 7. Everything you can track with the logging file. Any doubt? Any question? Understood? Now coding part. Let me show you from where you can get the code. Each and every code is there. Okay, let me. This code you can get here, no doubt. You want this code, right? Okay. No worries. I will do one thing. I will quickly go to open in Explorer. This is your API, right? I'll do uh, zip file and is it your? No, it's not yours. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start a statistics class. If you can able to complete this assignment, today's assignment. So I will create a new folder. 1 thing, this API document. Yes, yes. Can you see this? API day 1 and today's video also I'm going to upload API day 2. Okay, everything is there. Just do it. You guys are not doing anything. What you are doing, I don't know. Acha. Fair point. Okay, your code is also here. You guys can try once. Okay, cool. And one more thing. Did you guys download this, by the way? Install, download. Okay, downloading is done. Downloading. Okay, okay. Downloading not done yet. Is it seen? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Anyone else? I want to show you the installation part. Anyone else downloaded? Still downloading. Okay. Okay. Cool. No worries. No worries. Okay, fine. Just download it and installation process is very simple. Next, 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 and finish. Okay. And yeah, anyone is trying to say something, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Okay. So uh, how much error? Acha, it's your network problem, means like seems like your network issue. Okay, you guys just download it out. Okay, and after downloading, just click on next, 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 and finish. And then you do the sign up here. Sign up or sign up for free, and sign up with your Google account. Sign up with your Google. So if you click on this, and you can able to do the sign up, and then you guys able to use the Postman. Okay, now. Okay, cool. So fine, I'm leaving on you guys. Please try to do it. I'll drop it out. I'll call up for today, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, with new topic which is called statistics. Okay, and that will be a complete mathematics part, and it means like by tomorrow we are going to start complete ML and AI concepts. Okay, it will not take much time now, to be honest. So only part of weird here, understanding the Python concept and all this sort of, because you guys were not able to understand about the coding part. Now you guys are at that point, you can create your own API, you can expose your API, and also all the sort of things. And also I wanted to know, are you guys interested to, about this hosting at all? Like, if you want to develop, if we are developing something, and if you want to host in your cloud so that anyone can access this part, then feel free to let me know. I will join. I will means I will add you in some other group where you guys can learn this part as well. Okay, but for that, please be complete this part as well first. Cool. Cool then. That's all for today. We'll catch up by tomorrow and we'll see these things. Okay.